A very good morning to you. I am Jaimmy, and this is, of course, a chat up on Relax Radio. Hope you are having yourself an amazing day so far. It is a beautiful day out there, and I want to remind you to live your life to the fullest, okay? It's so important that you make use of every single moment that you have in your life, which is why I'll be giving you some inspiration for you to, well, live the best version of your life, for you to experience every single moment. And I'll be making sure that I remind you or I tell you of the importance of doing so on a day to day basis. Now, I am going to be with you for quite some time talking about a lot of interesting things. We're not just talking about inspiration, but I will be keeping you updated with what's going on in the entertainment industry and with what is going on around the UK and around the world as well. So make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio. And also, listen, this is a community radio. This is an interactive radio where we want to hear what you have to say. We want to know what you are thinking, what you like to hear from us. And all you got to do is go on ahead and call us up on 07852 473 473, or very simply, you can comment down below. Now, if you're listening to us on any of our lives, it's super simple. If you want to make your voice be heard on a plethora of platforms, if you want to make your voice be heard, or more importantly, if you want to say hi to me, or just let me know how your day is going, I would absolutely love to hear from you. And all you gotta do is comment down below. We got Mr. Alice listening in. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. It's such a pleasure to have you on board. Now, just like that, if you want to say hi to me, if you want to share your thoughts and ideas about whatever that is going on or whatever we are talking about, you can most definitely do so, like I told you, by commenting down below or interacting with me on any of our social media platforms. With that being said, before we head on over to our topic of discussion for the next couple of minutes, I want to remind you that we are present on a multiple social media platforms, that is Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We go as Relax Radio. Go ahead and show us some love so that we can show you love and we can keep you updated and informed as well. Now, to start off the show, or to start off interesting conversation, I think I want to talk to you about why it's so important that you follow your dreams. See, okay, so what exactly is a dream? I know it's a very cliche sentence. I know that a lot of us have heard people telling us, oh, follow your dreams, follow your goals. But what exactly is a dream? To me, at least, a dream is like a vision, a goal, a desire that you kind of want to accomplish in your time here on earth. These are things that most of us know we need when we are working towards success. But how should I say this? But somewhere along the line, you've forgotten why it's so important to follow through with these dreams or visions or desires. So you have to stick around, because I'm going to remind you, I'm going to give you a little lesson on why it's so important that you follow your dreams. Now, okay. This is my secret in life. Now, I know I haven't lived a long time, and I know I'm just a Gen Z, a millennial, but within the course of my life, I've learned a lot of valuable lessons, and I've learned it the hard way. So, what I want to do is to give you a few tips on why it's so important that you follow your dreams. Now, okay, according to my opinion, the secret of living, the secret of being happy is actually giving. Right, it's about showing other people what you're capable of. It's about telling the world or giving something back to the world. That essentially is the secret of living. Now, if you follow your dream, then you will have something worth sharing with others. And for me, there's absolutely nothing more beautiful than that. If you're able to share whatever talent you have with other people, if you're able to show other people your vision, your goal, a desire, that kind of gives you inspiration, that kind of gives you meaning to the life you're living. Now, more importantly, if you follow your dream, it kind of gives other people hope and inspiration and almost a meaning to life. And that to me is such a great contribution. With that being said, I also want to remind you that we kind of live in an era where everything is about trend setting. Everything is about following the trend of a well-known person, a celebrity, on social media or whatnot. But I want to remind you that that's not all that's important. Your talent, what you're good at, could be something that nobody else in this world has. But that doesn't mean that you don't deserve to showcase it to the world. More importantly, that doesn't mean that you don't deserve to exploit yourself. You totally owe it to yourself. You have a responsibility to yourself to explore your dream, to explore your vision, and then work on sharing it with the people out there. Now, the other thing, why it's so important to follow your dream. The other thing I want to talk about is when you do have a vision, when you do have something that, makes your heart beat that much faster, when you have something, a goal that makes you happy and makes you excited about living, it kind of gives you courage. Okay, chasing your dreams essentially will develop your courage. Now, courage is your fuel to achieve amazing successes in your life. If you want to be amazing, if you want to do amazing, and that doesn't mean having multiple followers on social media, that doesn't mean being Instagram famous. No, being successful is you being happy with the kind of life that you are living. And if you want to be happy with the kind of life that you are living and be successful in the purest form, then the first thing that you need to do is develop your courage. So, how do you develop your courage? How you do that is by chasing your dreams. If you have that vision, if you have that goal, if you have that desire, all I'm telling you, all I want for you to do is to follow it. Never forget to fall through with your vision and your desire and your dream, because I feel like a lot of us, we are caught up in this race of a 9 to 5 job, go to work or work from home or whatever, then have dinner, maybe watch some Netflix, go to sleep, and repeat all over again next day. And it just kind of gets futile, if you know what I mean. It kind of gets boring. And that's why you need to start following your dream. And I completely understand. I spoke about this yesterday as well. I know a lot of people are like, oh, don't do jobs that you don't love. Yeah, if you could do or engage in a career that you love, that's amazing. But I understand that given the status of the world, given that we are living where we need money, we need that paycheck at the end of the month to make sure that our children are fed, make sure that we have a roof over our head, make sure that we have food on our table. And that sometimes means doing things that you don't like and doing a career that is essentially what you love to do. I completely understand that. But that doesn't mean that you stop doing what you love. Find time in this busy schedule of yours to do what you love, to follow your goal, to follow your desire, to follow your vision. Okay, now for me, when you talk about dreams, the first thing that I think of is children, and I think that's because I do work with a lot of children as well. And for me, one of the most inspirational things that happened in my life is I came across this little girl, and we were asking the children what their dream is in life. And instantly, everybody said, oh, they wanted to be a teacher, a lawyer. Their dream is to make the world a better place. And this girl came up to me and she said, my dream is to make sure to go to moon someday. I want to, I don't want, she said she wants to go to the moon. And in my head, instantly, when I heard that, I was just like, oh, she's so small. Like, that's almost impossible. Um, that's not a practical dream. And that I feel like is my adult voice in my head, I feel like, almost. And that's, I don't know, that's what I love about children, that never fear dreaming too big. Whereas us as adults, I mean, I feel like society has conditioned us, the world we live in has conditioned us to fear dreaming big. And that truly does suck. That truly is horrible, right? So what I want you to do is, see, think of yourself as a child. Think of when you were a child. There is a reason why we as kids, we loved magic. We believed in magic. We believed in dreams. Stop chasing your dreams, and you are going to forget how it feels to be hopeful and be young. So, if you truly want to be young, none of these things on social media is going to work. Let me tell you a secret. If you want to be young, mind, body, soul, the first thing that you need to do is to believe in your dreams. Chase your dreams, chase your vision, chase your goals. Now, great dreamers grow to be independent. I think one of the most amazing feelings in life is knowing and learning that you can make a difference. I know for me as a child, I am so blessed to have grown up in a really amazing family. And I think one thing that I do want to share with you that my family always taught me was they always taught me that I can make a difference. And I don't need nobody for that. I don't need social media. I don't need, in my case, a successful marriage or a man to chase my dreams and to make a difference. And that's kind of the message that I want to give you today as well. You do not need anybody to make a difference in this world. And I don't mean, when I say difference, I don't mean a huge thing. It can be a little life that you change today. And that's a huge a difference that you make in this world, a positive difference that you make in this world that truly counts. So, if you have the courage to dream, if you have the courage to chase your goal, no matter how many times you fail, I want you to know that it's okay, because at the end of the day, that teaches you to be independent. And in this world that we're living in, one of the most important skills to learn is to be independent. So, I don't know why I love dreaming also, why I love to be focused on a goal, a vision, a dream. It's also because it kind of distracts you from the negative events in life. See, we live in a time, especially with COVID, this was very true with the pandemic. With the pandemic, I almost felt helpless. And I know a lot of you listening in felt that this uneasiness, because there was nothing you could do about it. What could you possibly do, to eradicate coronavirus from the face of this earth? There's nothing you can do about it. And yet it was causing so much trouble. It was causing so much negativity in the planet. But see, I do understand that a lot of people say, a lot of an excuse that a lot of people make is, oh, things happen in my life that I can't control. That's why my life is so horrible. That's why my life is so bad. I can't control the negativity in my life. Well, I want to remind you something. There is definitely going to be things that you can't control in your life. But similarly, there's going to be so many aspects and so many avenues that you can actually control. Which is why I want to remind you that when you dream, it kind of gives you that inspiration to distract you from the negative events in life or the things that you can't change. You will weigh up what's more important, your dreams or the drama that's happening around you. And your dreams are going to seem more important, and you're not going to waste your time and your energy on things that are not important. Drama seems so obsolete when you are passionate about following your dreams. It gives you something to share and inspire your kids with, or inspire the next generation, the people around you with. You have led by example that anything is possible when you put your mind to it. And I don't mean that, okay, sometimes you never know life. Life is so unpredictable. But the knowing the fact that you chased your dreams, that I feel like is one of the most important information that you could possess. And one day when you have to leave this earth, even if you achieved your dream or not is irrelevant. You know that you chased your goal, that you proactively wanted to make your goals and dreams and desires a reality. And that information in itself is definitely going to put your mind at ease. Now, with that being said, we have a lot more interesting things to talk about. I actually do want to continue talking about this because of how important it is. And sometimes with the hullabaloo in life, with all the busyness around us, these are things that we tend to forget. So I know it sounds pretty cliche and trivial, but these are things that I definitely do want to talk about. And we're also going to be talking about the situation in the world, in the entertainment industry. So make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relaks Radio. back to the show. I am Jamie, and this is, of course, Relax Radio. I want to say a big welcome to everybody on the show. I want to say a big thank you as well. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Thank you for tuning in, sharing your thoughts and your opinions. And if you haven't already, we talk about a lot of different things, okay? We talk about things from the entertainment industry, entertainment news, to politics, to everything that's happening around the world. So make sure that you tune in and let me know what's going on because I would absolutely love to hear from you. Now, with that being said, I also do want to talk about something very interesting for the next couple minutes. Earlier on, actually, we were talking about why it's important to dream, why you as a person should. Do whatever it takes to follow your dreams and your goals, and I have a lot more to add to that as well, so make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio. But before we get in on a more interesting conversation, I want to remind you about our social media platforms, that is Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We go as Relax Radio. Make sure that you download our app so that you can take us with you wherever that you go. It's available absolutely free of charge on your App Store or Play Store. Now, all you gotta do is head on over to either App Store or Play Store and download our app. Now, with that being said, I want to remind you to download our, make sure that you check us out on our social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. We go as Relax Radio. Make sure that you show us some love and make sure that you stay connected with us, sharing your thoughts, sharing your opinions, because we would absolutely love to hear from you. If you're listening to us on any of our lives, all you gotta do is comment down below and we can have a direct conversation. If there's anything that you want to add, so that the people listening in on multiple of our platforms, we are streaming on a lot of different platforms, and there's so many people that's listening in. So if you want to, share your thoughts and perspectives with all of these people and with me, all you got to do is comment down below. Now, with that being said, I know we don't talk about this kind of thing during my show specifically, but I want to talk about something good that is happening with regards to the Israel-Palestinian conflict. You could say it's much more than a conflict, in my opinion. But yeah, there's some good news because the Israeli-Palestinian ceasefire has come into effect, which is actually so good to hear. A ceasefire between Israel and Palestinian militant group Hamas is in the Gaza Strip actually has come into effect. Now, the ceasefire began early on Friday, that is today, bringing an end to actually about 11 days, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's about 11 days of fighting, in which more than 240 people were killed, most of them in Gaza. Now, for me, this is one of the most depressing situations that's happening, and I think the world view of it is actually extremely saddening as well. But I'm so glad to hear that there is a ceasefire and that Palestinians, and what was amazing is I just watched a video clip. I know I don't talk about this kind of things during our show, but it's so inspiring because so many Palestinians poured out onto the streets of Gaza soon after the truce began, and a Hamas official warned that its hands were on the trigger. Now, both Israel and Hamas have claimed a victory in the conflict. Both parties are saying, the Israelis are saying they've won, whereas the Palestinians are saying they've won. But US President Joe Biden said that the ceasefire brought genuine opportunity for progress, which I absolutely hope is true. There is people dying for absolutely no reason in Gaza, in Palestine, and it's actually sad to know what is happening. Israel, on the other hand, say it's a form of freedom, according to the Israeli. But you know what? It is a huge thing that is going on. But I know I don't talk about this stuff during this show, but I just wanted to bring to your knowledge that Israeli-Palestinian ceasefire has come into effect, and that brings an end to about 11 days of fighting where 240 people have been killed. So that is some news for you. That is some hope. Honestly, it's insane what is going on. The Israeli military says more than 4,300 rockets were fired towards its territory by militants, and that they have responded with so much more, which is absolutely insane. So the two sides say two different stories. You are obviously aware of that. Or if you're not, well, then don't worry, because the show after this show, the buzz and the real talk essentially will keep you updated with what exactly is going on. So make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio. Now, with that being said, I also do want to go back into our previous topic, which is why you should follow your dream, why it's important that you follow your dream. Now, I want to remind you that the more you chase and accomplish your dreams, the more the lines and the boundaries that the world puts in front of you, rather, it kind of fades. Okay, as we learn that everything and anything is possible as long as we put our mind to it, it almost all these limitations that the world thrusts upon us kind of becomes insignificant. All these boundaries that society sets for us so that we can't succeed kind of seems insignificant. And I think that's what happens when you chase and accomplish your dreams, which is absolutely beautiful. And which is why I want you to promise yourself that if you have something that you are super passionate about, if you have something that you love to do, if you have a dream, a goal, a vision, no matter what you are doing right now, I want you to take at least a few minutes each day to actually do whatever it takes to ensure that you fulfill that goal of yours. Now, when you accomplish your dream, you are the first to see it happen. Okay? You can share your accomplishments with the rest of the world, but you were there when it happened, when the magic unfolded. And that experience is absolutely out of this world. That experience is so fulfilling, I would say. And I want to remind you that your dreams have absolutely no limits. You are the creator of your dreams, big or small. And when you understand this, you are able to design a way to favor your plan and, to favor your accomplishment of the goal. So a dream is strong enough to define you. That's what I believe. Society tells us that things like, I don't know, society says that certain things are strong enough to define us, but I truly think only you can define yourself. And one thing that defines you is definitely your dreams, your goals, your vision. Now, once you accomplish, you prove to others, they have no words to say in who you can or what you can do, which is the most beautiful thing in the world. So go on ahead and make sure that you accomplish whatever dream of yours. Make sure that you never give up on your dream. Make sure that you do whatever it takes to be there for your dreams, and make sure that you are always, always there for yourself. With that being said, I have a lot more interesting things coming up, so make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio. Olha, se você... A very good morning to you. Hope you are having yourself an amazing day so far. There's a lot of things that's happening around the world, and we will most definitely be keeping you updated with every single thing. So make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio. Make sure that you download our app so that you can take us with you wherever that you go. We have a lot of different things to talk about because there's a lot of things happening around the world. And if you want to keep yourself updated, all you got to do is check out our social media platforms. That is Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We go as Relax Radio. Make sure that you go show us some love on our social media platforms so that you can keep yourself updated with what's happening here at Relax Radio and with what's going on around the world as well. Now, I want to just keep you updated with something that's pretty amazing that's happening in Australia. Apparently, thousands of school children join Australia in a protest for climate change. Now, thousands of Australian children are walking out of school to attend protests calling for action on climate change. Now, there's about 50,000 students that are expected to be at this school strike for climate rallies across the country, which is absolutely amazing. It is the latest grassroots campaign by young people pushing for action on the climate crisis. So the fact that 50,000 children are deciding to skip school to make a bunch of adults understand how important it is that we take immediate action to combat climate change, for me, is so inspiring. It is so amazing to know that these children are doing whatever, they're using their voice, they're doing whatever they can in their power to make sure that they stand up for climate change, that they stand up for action on climate change. Now, I watched a couple interviews actually of these children that are attending these rallies, and what all of them are saying is that they want to live in a good future, and that they're worried about their future because the government isn't essentially doing too much with regards to combating climate change. The protesters are also calling for no new coal, oil, and gas projects in Australia, including the very controversial Adani mine. Now, the Adani mine is something that is very controversial and is definitely pulled some red flags with regards to the progress in taking action for climate change. So the students are basically saying that they're against any new coal, oil, or gas projects in Australia. Now, India's Adani Enterprises has attracted criticism in parts of Australia for developing a new thermal coal mine, and protesters want 100% renewable energy generation and exports by 2030. Along with plans for the transition away from fossil fuel jobs, which is absolutely amazing. And yeah, and these students are actually saying that they want a good future for themselves and their country and their children, which is why they are going to do whatever it takes to make noise or create noise up until the government decides to create change or put in place policies that will combat climate change. With that being said, listen, it's super important. Global warming is actually happening, and it's super important that we talk about it, which is why I want to help you. Even little things matter. So I want to talk to you about what you can do to stop global warming, what you can do to heal the planet, because healing the planet essentially starts in your garage. It starts in your kitchen, and it starts in your dining room table. So I want to give you a few tips on what you can do in your household, in the environment around you, to ensure that you stop global warming, that you do whatever it takes to combat climate change. I will be sharing a few tips with you, so make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio.
best friend.
Welcome back to the show. I am Jaimmy, and this is, of course, Relax Radio. Hope you are having yourself an amazing day so far. We've had a lot of interesting conversation, a lot of interesting things to talk about. And earlier on, I actually told you of something interesting that was happening in Australia. I told you how a lot of students are coming out of school as a method of protesting climate change and the fact that Australian authorities and government isn't doing anything to combat climate change. Now, like I told you before, about 50,000 students are expected to be at this school strike for climate rallies across the country, which is basically the latest grassroots campaign by young people pushing for action on the climate crisis. Now, with that being said, I promised you that I will share with you a few tips and tricks on what you can do in order to make sure that you do your little contribution in order to make sure that you prevent climate change. Now, I told you that healing. This planet that we live in is super important. Healing this planet is important because it is the only planet that we have got to live in for our children, for the future generations. We owe it. We got the planet in such a good condition to live in, and we owe it to the future generations to leave it the way we found this planet, right? And a lot of people think that I think a lot of there's a lot of anxiety surrounding climate change as well, because for a lot of us we think, oh, there's nothing we can do about it. We wish we could do something about it, but there's nothing we can do about it because higher authorities need to do it. And we kind of feel helpless sometimes with regards to actually taking action when it comes to helping the world, healing the world. But I want to remind you something, okay? I want to remind you that there are things that you as a person can do in order to stop global warming, in order to ensure that you do your part, you play your part in order to prevent climate change. Now, like I told you before, healing the planet essentially starts in your garage, in your kitchen, in your bedroom, in your dining room table, in your house, okay? No matter how small of a contribution you make, it is a contribution at the end of the day. Now, nations around the world are upping their game when it comes to fighting against climate change. And despite a lot of people having issues with climate change, we see that people are speaking up, especially the younger generations. There are so many initiatives that are put in place in order to ensure that we do whatever we can to prevent climate change, even in our small abilities. Now, the first thing that I want you to do is to speak up. I know it kind of seems like a very not proactive decision or stance to take, but it is one of the single biggest way that you can make an impact on global climate change. Talk to your friends about it, educate people around you about how this planet is dying, how the planet is not dying essentially. We as human beings, the humanity is essentially killing the planet. And what you need to do is to speak up about it. Talk to your friends and family and make sure your representatives are making better decisions, because you could be possibly listening to us from anywhere in the world, but I want to remind you that you basically decide the policies in your country, because if you're living in a democracy, your government, your authorities are representatives of you, for you, and by you. So put pressure on the higher authorities. Talk to your friends and family about the importance of taking stances, of making policy decisions when it comes to dealing with climate change, right? Use voice your concerns. That is always important. Voice your concerns via social media, or speak to your directly elected officials. Send a message that you care about the warming of the world. Encourage people to act on it. Encourage I don't know, encourage your representatives, the higher authorities, to require polluters to pay for emissions that they produce. That essentially is going to put a stop to these big companies polluting the environment, and people like us, people who have absolutely no relation to it, having to suffer. So that is definitely one thing that you can do if you want to ensure that your planet is as safe as possible. Make sure that you speak up, that you educate the people around you, but more importantly, you take your concerns to the higher authorities, because they are not going to take action unless you push on it. So push on it and make sure you do whatever for your voice to be heard, for your concerns to be heard. Now, the other thing that you can do as an individual is to power your home with renewable energy. Choose a utility company that generates at least half its power from wind or solar, and it has been certified by some green energy, some organization. But if this isn't possible for you, take a look at your electric bill. Many of the utilities now list other ways to support renewable sources as their monthly statements and websites. So make sure that you invest in energy efficient appliances. Okay, efficiency standards for dozens of appliances and products have kept 2.3 billion tons of carbon dioxide out of the air. So that's about the same amount of annual carbon pollution coughed up nearly by 440 million cars. So energy efficiency is the lowest cost way to reduce emissions. So even if it's turning off a light when you don't need it, to switching from very cost effective energy effective or other energy using appliance, make sure that you use energy efficient appliance. Research about it, read up, and figure out what's best for the planet in your household. Reduce your water waste. Saving water reduces carbon pollution too, okay, because it takes a lot of energy to pump and heat and treat your water. So take shorter showers. There's a big difference between being hygienic and then having luxurious god knows how long showers. Take shorter showers. Turn off taps when you are brushing your teeth, when you don't need it. You know, make sure that you do whatever it takes to avoid global warming, or your contribution towards global warming pollution. Now, actually eat the food that you buy, because a lot of us, I feel like, especially in the UK, we've gotten so used to wasting food. Approximately 10% of the energy in the UK goes into processing, growing, packaging, and shipping food, and that's about 40% of which just winds up in the landfill. How crazy is that, right? We spend 10% of our country's energy on food, and 40% of the food end up in landfills. So if you're wasting food, you're likely cutting down, or rather, if you are wasting less food, you are likely cutting down on energy consumption. So waste less food, waste less water. We make sure when you do your shopping, when you do your grocery shopping, when you shop for products, make sure that you buy exactly what you need, because I find it absolutely insane that 10% of the UK's energy goes into growing, processing, and packaging food, but 40% of all of this food that is grown, processed, and packaged is all ended up in a landfill, which is absolutely crazy. So stop wasting your food. Stop wasting water. Buy better bulbs. This is something all of us can do. LED light bulbs use up to 80% less energy than conventional iridescence and incandescence. So they're also cheaper in the long run, because a 10 watt LED replaces your traditional 60-watt bulb and saves you about 100 quite a lot of money when it comes to the light bulb's life. So I know this sounds like very little trivial aspects, but these are very important when it comes to you doing your part in making sure that the world is a safer, healthier, and more environment friendly place to be. So make sure that you do these little things, even though they seem as trivial as possible. Even every little contribution truly does count when it comes to the fight against climate change and the fight against global warming. So do your little part. You definitely, this world has been giving you everything, Mother Earth has been giving you everything you need to live a successful life. So make sure that you do give back, and make sure that you heal the wounds that humanity has created. Okay, with that being said, we have a lot more to talk about, so make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio. to the show. I am Jamie, and this is, of course, the Chat Up on Relax Radio. We have a lot of you listening in on different platforms. I want to say a big thank you going out to every single one of you that is tuning in. If you want to be a part of the show, this is interactive radio. If you have something that you want to share, if you want to talk to us about something, all you got to do is make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio. We've been talking about a lot of different things. We've been talking about inspirational aspects, but I've also been keeping you updated with what is happening around the world, that you need to know about. Now, one person that is blowing up with regards to the entertainment industry is Olivia Rodrigo. Olivia Rodrigo is doing big things because she is blowing up with regards to her music, because she is making such relatable music that all of us absolutely love to hear. So, I just want to say that is something that I will be talking about in the next couple of minutes. But before we talk about Olivia and her success and her career, I think I want to remind you to download our app. It's available absolutely free of charge on iOS and Android. So make sure that you download our app so that you can take us with you wherever it is that you go. It's available absolutely free of charge on iOS and Android. So make sure that you download our app and stay connected with us 24/7, 365. With that being said, I also want to remind you that you could always call me up. If you're listening to us on our lives, the number is shown on the screen. The number to call me is 078-52473-473. You could directly call me and get in touch with me. You could also follow us on our social media platforms, that is Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We go as Relax Radio. Now, we're spelled without the X in Relax because we're all about, making sure that you are positive. We're all about making sure that you are happy all throughout the day. So if you want to keep yourself inspired, motivated, and aware of everything that's happening, all you gotta do is make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio. So let's talk about Olivia Rodrigo for a second. She is hip hop's brightest new star, and this is why. Okay, every singer I feel like has their own ritual in the recording studio. Kelly Clarkson says that she drinks olive oil to clear her throat. Steve Nick prefers tequila, which is, well, understandable. John Legend goes for half a rotisserie chicken. Now, Olivia Rodrigo is a whole different breed because she had a song breakout in 2021. She is 2021's biggest breakout star. She simply asks her producer Daniel Negro to film her singing. That basically, she says, is a coping mechanism or her ritual in her recording studio. Her producer Daniel Negro says that at first he couldn't understand it. Being in camera just makes it so much more harder, but Olivia Rodrigo absolutely loves it, and that is basically her source of empowerment. That's a source of courage, and yeah, that's exactly what Olivia Rodrigo does. But I think one thing that we can gather from her life, she is doing such amazing things in the entertainment industry, in the music industry. She's so young and she's making songs that are relatable, not just to the younger generation, but to everyone as a whole. And I think she says that the most important thing is that she knew how important it is to follow her dreams. Now, this is something that we've been talking about today, and I just want to remind you why you should follow your dreams. The only reason Olivia Rodrigo she has become a household name. She has become so famous. She's made music that has moved people, inspired people. And she says the only reason she was able to do that is because she followed her dreams. Now, I know it sounds really cliche. It sounds very what would I say, trivial. It's what every social media inspirational quote would say, follow your dreams, and it sounds super trivial to me, at least. But I think what we need to understand is that no matter how old you are in your life, having a dream or a goal or a desire is super important. And I feel like almost all of us, we are stuck in this race of life. Okay, it's a rat race. We wake up at a certain time every day, we go to work, we come back we do our 9 to 5 jobs, we come home, we maybe spend some time with our family, and we watch some Netflix and then we go to sleep, and that's again repeated the next day. So we are living this routinal life that absolutely has no meaning at the end of the day. But that's where your dream, your vision, your goal comes into place. And I completely understand that we are living in an era, like I told you before, I know I always tell you to follow your dreams, to do a job that you love, to engage in a career that makes you happy. I know I tell you that all the time, but I completely get how hard it is to do that, you know? You need to focus on feeding your children, you need to focus on paying rent, you need to focus on getting that paycheck at the end of the month. And I completely understand that in order to get that paycheck at the end of the month, a lot of us have to do things that we don't like, engage in careers that we don't truly love. But see, one thing I want you to promise me is that no matter how conditioned or programmed you are to follow this day to day routine of life, I want you to at least try. Spend at least a few minutes a day trying to make your dream, your vision, your goal a reality. Because don't tell me that you don't have a dream. I truly believe that every single person has a dream. And if you can't figure out yours, well, then think about something that you wanted to achieve when you were a child. Think about something that excited you. Think about something that when you engage in it, it almost gives this spark inside you. Think of something like that. That, my friend, is your dream. That is your passion. Now, a lot of people ask me, why is it so important to follow your dream? Why is it so important to follow your passion? Okay, so let me start off by telling you, I think that the secret to life essentially is the secret to life is basically giving, right? The secret to life is, if you follow your dreams, you are going to have something worth sharing with other people. You're going to be able to showcase this passion of yours with the world. You're going to give other people inspiration and hope and meaning to life. And that essentially is the contribution that you're supposed to make during your time here on earth. Okay, so when you do share your talent, your passion, your dream, your vision with people in general, it kind of gives you hope and gives everybody else hope as well. And I think what's most important is, see, as children, like I told you before, children, it's so easy for us to believe in the Santa Claus. We believe in fairies. We believe in magic. We believe in dreams. That's because as children, we believed anything was possible. But I feel like, see, the thing is, as we grow up, we are conditioned to believe by society that dreams are not real. We are conditioned to believe in this rat race of a life. But I want you to never stop chasing your dreams. If you have something that you absolutely love to do, maybe it can be, I don't know, maybe it can be drawing or writing or doing a certain career. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you're 50 years old and want to change your career, go ahead and do it. Because if not, one day when you leave this planet, you're going to be so upset. And my goal for you is that someday when you leave earth, when your life is done, you're going to say, look back at your life and be like, oh my goodness, I did something I loved. I did something that I was passionate about. And that should truly be your goal in life. So make sure that you do that. That exactly is what Olivia Rodrigo says that we should do. You know, she says it's okay if life gets hard, but she says what happened is she always wanted to sing, she always wanted to make music, but at the end of the day, she says that she failed. You know, people didn't want to produce her music, but she kept doing it, and now look where she's gotten. She's a huge star, and everybody knows her name. So that's what I want to remind you. I want you to believe in yourself and follow your dreams. With that being said, we have a lot more interesting things to talk about, so make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio. do is connect with us. Now, I've been telling you about how you can connect with us, how you can talk to us on a plethora of different platforms. I told you how, we as human beings, we sometimes just need to have good conversation. We need to just talk to people and be able to share our thoughts and ideas and opinions. Now, if you are somebody like that and you want to just talk to somebody and share your thoughts and ideas regarding anything, all you gotta do is connect with us, because the Relax crew, we are here for you 24/7, 365. So if you want to talk about something interesting, if you want to share your thoughts, your ideas, if you have a perspective that you think is quite interesting and you want to make your voice be heard by everybody that's listening in, all you got to do is go on right ahead and connect with us on our social media. Or if not, you can comment down below. We go live very often. So when we do go live, you can comment down below, or very simply call us on 07852 473 473. Now, it is the final few minutes of the show, but we have a lot of amazing things lined up for you. The show after this actually will be talking about technology, business, finance related matters. And the show after that is going to keep you updated with regards to politics, with regards to current affairs, and everything related. So make sure that you don't just make sure that you keep yourself informed, because that is super important. So make sure that you keep it tuned, because we are making information fun. We are making sure that you are not just inspired but informed as well. Now, with that being said, I want to, before I leave, actually, I do want to talk about something that's very is going to be very helpful, to say the least. And I feel like a lot of us, the problem that we face is productivity. We want to be productive, we want to do our level best at something, but we just find it difficult, sometimes, to be as productive as possible. Now, I'm going to share with you some lifestyle tips and productivity tips that will help you be more efficient within a day. But before we get into that conversation, I want to remind you that every single one of us, we have moments that we slip, right? We may have plans for the day, we may have a list that's made, but sometimes you gotta understand that there's going to be times where we are not fully successful. But I want to remind you that that's okay. Don't be hard on yourself, forgive yourself, and move on. Now, okay, the first tip on being productive is I want you to start focusing on more important tasks. Now, see, the theory behind doing your most important tasks first is that any given to-do list has some tasks that are more important than the others. If you focus on simply checking off to-do list items, you'll end up with a mix of important and less important tasks completed. Now, that kind of exposes you to the potential of procrastination, because I feel like it's easy to spend the whole day checking off easy, less important, trivial to-dos, instead of buckling down on the hard stuff. That is definitely something that I do on a day-to-day basis, especially if I have a to-do list that I created for the day. I'll do what I love the most, I'll do what's easy, and then I will procrastinate on the tasks that are actually important. So, what I want you to do is, if you want to be as productive as possible, spend a few minutes at the beginning of your day to choose a few tasks that are absolutely crucial to get done. The things that no matter what you need to finish by the end of the day, figure out those tasks, and with a renewed focus of what's important, I feel like it's easier to create a meaningful to-do list and to make sure that the important things in your life get done. So, distinguish between efficient and effective, but that both are needed for peak productivity. Efficient is doing things right, and effective is doing the right thing. So make sure that you combine both of those, and make sure that the most productive people, that's what they do. They combine both rather, and they do the high value tasks. Now, the other thing that I do want to talk about, another productivity tip, if you want to be as productive as possible, you've got to cultivate deep work. Okay? Now, some tasks are just hard. Let's get to it. If you have an assignment to complete, like me, I have so many assignments lined up that I'm absolutely dreading getting done. Or if it's some work related thing, whatever it is, some tasks are just hard to get done. And you need to understand that sometimes there's just no substitute for deep work. Everybody has a few daily to-dos that could be almost knocked out while sleeping. These are tasks that you need podcasts to get through, if anything, things like this to get through. They're hard to get yourself to do because they're especially not interesting. Now, at the same time, some tasks are just difficult. You can't multitask your way to finishing them. You need to devote serious time and mental effort to knocking them out the park. These are the tasks that we call deep work. Now, when it comes to doing these, you need to schedule deep work. Plan the tasks that are hard, that we are going to call deep work from now on, into your schedule at similar time every day. When you get into a routine of doing tasks like this on a day-to-day basis on a similar timing, things are just going to get easier. So have a regular time to do deep work or these tasks that you find really, really hard. Now, the other thing that I do want to talk about is one thing for me that makes it super hard to be productive is my list of distractions. I get distracted so fast, and I think mostly it is just social media and my phone that distracts me from working. So what I want you to remember is if you want to be as productive as possible, keep a distraction list and jot down ideas you think while you're working. With emails and social media and thousands of little to-dos, it's easy to get distracted when you're trying to be productive. So whether you're trying to focus on deep work or if you're just dealing with smaller tasks, distractions are the bane of productivity. So make sure that you do whatever it takes to ensure that you you have as little distractions as possible. One powerful distraction method, oh, I'm sorry. No, that's not what I meant. One powerful method of reducing distractions, in fact, is creating this thing called a distraction list. Because, like I always say, you can't tackle a problem unless you know what the problem is. So, figure out what distracts you the easiest, and figure out what you can do to keep them away while you're working or studying or doing these hard tasks. So that is one thing that I do want you to do. Go easy on yourself, forgive yourself. Just try harder tomorrow. Make sure that you try harder tomorrow and do whatever it takes to be efficient and effective at the same time. Now, with that being said, we have a lot more interesting things coming up. But make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio. Tomorrow, actually on Monday, we'll be here same time, same place. So make sure that you keep it tuned on Relax Radio.